Hey everybody, this is Tracy here with another edition of A View from Tracy's Point, and we are here to recap Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 1, Episode 4, which was titled 10th Anniversary or Bust. And so before we get started, I know some of you who watch my recaps have talked about the paintings in the background, and you guys know that I do painting with a twist. It's been a really long time since I've done one, but a friend of mine is sponsoring several high school students on a trip over spring break next month, and they're going to be going to Dubai and to South Africa to do a service project. And so she did a fundraiser at Painting with a Twist, and we did these so I want to show you guys. We did this painting, and as you can see, the hair is the shape of Africa, and this portrait was called Africana, I think is what the name of it was. But anyway, it was a real easy, simple, fun painting to do. So if you have a painting with a twist near you, consider doing a party. And then speaking of painting with a twist, I met this young girl. Some of you know that I'm an author, and I met this young woman about, oh my God, it may have been 10 years ago, 9 years ago. And I'll tell that story. It's a long story, but I'll tell it in another video about supporting one another. And so anyway, she just opened it's like a painting with a twist type business in College Park, Maryland. So if any of you are in College Park, Maryland, check out Mia Alexander Davis and her shop, which is called Cranberry and Lemonade. And I'm going to put a little flyer in here for you guys to check out and get the information. But I am so excited for her Black-owned business. Please go out and support her. If you know anybody in the College Park, Maryland area, please share this information with them so that they can go and support her. And just anytime I can support anybody, I will. And I am so happy for Mia. So let's go ahead and get into this recap, shall we? So I know I'm a week behind, but I'm going to try and get episode 5 up before the end of the week. So pray with me, keep your fingers crossed that I can do this, because it just seems like once I start doing these videos, I have so much to do and time just gets by, and I just feel like I don't have a moment to rest between all the other things I have to do throughout the day. So the episode starts, let me say this, I meant to put this in the end of the episode 3 video, where I wanted to say that I'm really confused by LaTisha and Marsau, and I'm trying to understand, like, does she want to just get back into the workforce, or does she want to work for his business specifically? And if it is that she just wants to work for his business and be like a partnership, sort of how Melody and Martell are, then why can't she just set up a home office? Like, why does she need to go to a physical office? And it sounds to me like she might have some insecurity issues, and so she wants to sit there and keep her eye on him all day. But general contractors are not sitting in the office all day. They're out on job sites. They're out picking up materials. They're out looking for new business to get into. So I don't know what Tisha's ultimate goal is, but I'm starting to think more and more that she is really envious of Melody, and the fact that Melody and Martell have this business together. They have an office. Melody gets dressed and she actually goes to the office every day. She has her own desk and phone. They have a conference room, and I think she's enamored with that. And that is what this is all about, not just her wanting to go and work. So you guys, if you're watching the show, keep it up with it. Let me know if that is what you're thinking, or if you think that something else is going on with her. Just leave the comments below. So with this episode, Maurice and Kimmi have their sons home for the summer. And you know that Kimmi has a son that's in college at Troy State University. And Maurice has a son from a previous marriage. And so it's summertime. His son, which is Maurice the third, they call him Monster, I think. And so he comes and spends the summer with them. And so they're out in the backyard playing basketball together. And so Kimmi, you know, she's being kind of hard on her son, telling him what the rules are for the summer, letting him know what his rent is going to be, what his responsibilities are, and what his curfew is. And the boy was like, are you serious right now? Like, a curfew? I'm in college. Why do I need a curfew? And so she told him, well, if you don't want to have a curfew, then you have to start contributing financially. I think before that she was telling him, you know, like his responsibilities around the house. But if he didn't want to have a curfew, he needed to pay monthly rent. And so Kimmi overhears Maurice talking to his ex-wife on the telephone, and the ex-wife is saying to him, like, what are you going to do with our son over the summer? He can't just be sitting up in the house doing nothing. And so then Maurice says that he looked into a space camp and some other kind of camp for the little boy. So Kimmi gets a little upset because she looking all like, okay, when I talked to him about what are we going to do with Monster over the summer, he, you know, pushed it off and was like, oh, it's no big deal, he'll be okay. But then as soon as the ex-wife mentions it, it's, oh, yeah, we're going to put him in camp, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. So she was feeling some type of way, and when he got off the phone, she let him know that. So in her confessional, you know, she pretty much expresses that Maurice he like automatically gives her the role of parenting while he continues on with his life. And he's in college. I thought he already had his JD, but maybe he's still in school getting the JD, and he finished the program after they finished taping. But I do know that his ultimate goal is to become an attorney, and he's trying to get his Juris Doctorate. And so then there's a scene where Kimmi and Maurice, they actually go to a counselor. And so they're doing couples counseling because, you know, they're getting ready to get married. And so she brings up the whole situation with Maurice and the son, and how, you know, she's having to give up her life to watch out for the son while he's still, you know, pursuing his dreams. And she becomes emotional and says that, you know, she sees pictures on social media of people her age, and they're traveling the world, and then she starts feeling down and feeling like, why is this my life, that I'm always taking care of somebody else? And she feels like even though her son is, you know, 19, 20 years old, off in college, that she still can't live her life because now she has to take care of Maurice's son. And that's one of the things about dating people that have little kids, because I know your girl here, if I meet a man and he tell me he has a child under the age of 18, we gonna be his friends, because I am not trying to get in a relationship where I got to be raising kids, because I'm trying to live my life. So Maurice is sitting there and he's looking like, oh my God, I did not know this is how she felt. And so he's feeling bad because he feels like he's burdening her. And then he lets her know that, you know, he's sorry that she feels that way, and that he is going to make some changes and be more present in the house and help her out more, which I thought was really sweet. So then Kimmi and the ladies have a girls' day trip to the sex toy shop. And so she wants the ladies to help her find some lingerie for her wedding night. And so to her surprise, neither Tisha nor Mel are into sex toys. First, it was just her and Tisha there. And so, you know, Tisha was telling her, you know, I've tried doing things with Marsaw, but he doesn't want, you know, me bringing toys into the house. He's not into it. She said that she went to like a pleasure party and bought this stuff. And when she got home, Marsaw was like, well, what you gonna do with that? We ain't bringing that up in here. And so then Kimmi gives her this quick lesson, and they had these, I call them Kegel balls, but she kept calling them bee balls. But basically, you know, you put the things up in your vagina and it tightens your muscles. But this is like an advanced version because it has like a Bluetooth thing with it, and your partner can like adjust like, I guess has like a vibration, and they can adjust the vibration and the sensitivity of it, from their phone or from a Bluetooth device at any time that they want to. So I guess that's, I don't know. It's like some freaky stuff going on. So I guess you can incorporate it into your love making sessions, or if he knows that you have them on and that you're wearing it in the middle of the day, then he can just do some things to like get you turned on his way home. So then Melanie finally arrives, and so she tells him that her and Martell ain't into these toys either. So Kimmi is modeling this lingerie, and so she, like, I don't know, and I think I mentioned this in another video about my TV. Like, I don't know if I have my TV set up correctly, because everybody just looked wide on my television. So I don't know if Kimmi, if it was the television that was making her look bigger than she actually is. But like Melanie said, for her age, she does have a nice body. I just don't think that, with the cellulite that I have in my thighs, and that she had in her thighs, that I would have been on national TV modeling this lingerie. So Melanie decides that she would buy one of the pieces for Kimmi, as like a makeup gift for missing, or peace offering for missing the bridal shower. And so Melanie pretty much left as quickly as she came. She was late getting there, and then she had nerve to leave before they completed the purchases. So after her exit, LaTisha decides that she's going to buy this red skimpy lace teddy for Martell and Melody's 10th anniversary gift, because this is what the whole show was about. It was their 10th anniversary. And so in the next scene, we have this meeting of the comeback group. They went out to dinner, and so they were at a more formal setting, and we would think that they would act a little better, but I'm not really sure what the restaurant was that they were at, but I liked it. It looked like everybody had their own private rooms, or maybe the restaurant was downstairs, and the meeting room or the event room where you can have like a private dinner was upstairs. But I did like the building, and I don't recall them saying what the name of the restaurant was. So they have a whole contract ready for the Holtz this because they are sick of them doing what they want to do. And so Martell seems bothered, by the fact that, the others want them to sign this contract. And then Tisha sitting there with her red pen and, getting ready to mark some stuff up while they talk about this contract. And so Martell thinks that them holding him accountable, that it will somehow impact his business, because one of the things that they had on there was like a non-disclosure, well, not a non-disclosure, but I guess it would be more like a disclosure. A disclosure agreement, because basically they want Martell to tell things about his business, like if he has a deal going on and it can somehow impact the project that they're doing, that he has to be open and tell them, like, well, how did you come across this deal? How did you meet this contractor? Like, what is your relationship? To make sure that, Martell isn't coming to them saying, okay, it's going to cost, $20,000 for this, but in actuality, he only paid $10,000 for it, and he's just trying to con them out of money. So Melanie seems open and thinks that it's a good idea that they have this contract, and as a goodwill gesture, she wants them to go ahead and sign the contract. So Marcel points out that he has contacted a builder who says that he can do the house for $69 a square foot. And so Martell wants to charge $109. So they, get into this discussion, and I talked about this on the previous video, that if Marcel is a general contractor, why is he not in charge of building these two houses? Why are they going out to somebody else? And so he seemed like really annoyed by Martell, and how Martell was saying, well, why can't we just build the house? And we know, and once again, I don't know how these financial arrangements are going to work out. Like, is the Scott brothers, Marcel and Tisha, and then Maurice and Kimmi, are they chipping in 1/3 of the cost, and then Martell, pays the other third? Like, I'm just real confused how this is going to break down and benefit everybody equally. So they go back and forth, and then finally they get Martell down to $80 a square foot. And so I'm thinking to myself, that's what he wanted in the first place. He started out with this ridiculous high price, knowing that they weren't going to go for it. But then if he seems flexible and open to working with them, that he would get them down to where he wants to be. And so he's still at, $11 over, what the other builders are saying that they can build this house for. And once again, I don't know if this is going to benefit his bottom line, or if the others are going to benefit, from him building this house at more than what other builders would have done it for. And Kimmi, as they're bickering back and forth, Kimmi reminds the group of what their mission is. And so Martell says that, he wants Huntsville to come back. He's not trying to go back to Huntsville. So I guess he's like moved to the outskirts or to the suburbs. And then, they're there to make money. They're not there to be giving houses away, because if they do that, then it doesn't benefit them in any way. So then Tisha jumps in, and as she's trying to, argue for her and her husband, Martell then is like referring to her as sweetheart. And so, she's offended, and rightfully so, and asks him, don't be calling me sweetheart. And then he continues to do it. So now Marcel is sitting up like, I know my wife just said, don't call her sweetheart, and you just gonna sit here and keep doing it. And so, he's basically saying in his confessional that, he gonna check Martell. And if he keep disrespecting his wife, it's going to be an issue. So then finally Melody asks Martell, like, do you still want to be in the combat group, or are we just wasting time? And so, it goes to commercial, and it comes back. And then finally he says, yeah, he wants to move forward with the project, and that, he says yes. So like we thought he was going to say no. So then the next day the men have a golf date, and before Martell arrives, Marcel brings up that it's Martell and Melody's 10th anniversary, and he's given Tisha the task of planning a surprise dinner for them. And so Martell shows up and breaks the guy code, because he brings Melody with him. Like, who does that? Why would you bring your wife to a guy's outing? Well, we know why, because Melody is feeling insecure and she doesn't trust her husband, so she won't go wherever he goes. And so Melanie says that she likes being with the guys because it's drama-free. And then Maurice is surprised that she thought that the dinner the night before was drama-free, when Martell called Tisha sweetheart and that he was being really disrespectful. All of them start debating the issue, and so the guys tell Martell that he was being condescending. Martell doesn't get it, but Marcel says in his confessional that if it happens again, they're going to have a problem, because he's going to respect his wife. And so in her confessional, Melody says that if someone called her sweetheart in a business meeting, that she would have an issue with that. So then at the house, Maurice and his son are spending time together, and he asks him about how he feels about Kimmi. And so Monster says that he likes her a lot and happy that that Maurice, that his dad and Kimmi are getting married. And then Maurice asks him, how does he feel about Jalen, Kimmi's son? And he says that it's like having a big brother, like Jalen be eating his food all the time and doing stuff to him, because he's the older one and he likes that feeling. So Maurice is now thinking, as his son is getting older, that it may be time for him to come live with him and Kimmi full time. Like, I don't know how your ex-wife is going to feel about that, because women are kind of particular and protective of their children. And I don't know how far apart they live from each other, but I just don't see the ex-wife saying, yeah, you go take my son and he could go live with you. And I don't have a problem with that. I think men should be equally responsible for their kids. And I know my daughter, my youngest daughter, spent time living with her father. So it's not a bad thing, but we also live in the same city. And to this day, we have always lived close, like in close proximity. Like right now, he lives about 9 blocks from me. Like I could walk to his house in probably 10 minutes. So we'll see if the show is renewed, if Maurice actually goes down that path and asks his ex-wife, can he have that boy living with him permanently? So over at the other Scott's house, Tisha and Marcel are so funny. They are like hilarious to me, even with his chauvinistic ways. And actually all the men are showing a degree of chauvinism as we get to know more about them. So Tisha shows Marcel the teddy that she bought for Melody for this anniversary gift. And he's shocked that she would go and buy a teddy for another woman. He's like, that's so strange. Why would you do that? And then he wants to know why she didn't buy the teddy for herself or get a teddy for herself. And so Tisha says that she didn't know that he liked lingerie or wanted to see her in lingerie because he has never bought her any lingerie. And so she then pulls at the ball, the G ball thing she kept, or the B balls she kept calling it. And so Marcel is like, well, what is that, a cell phone? What are you doing? And you can tell that he's embarrassed to be on camera talking about sex toys. And so he, is joking around with her and everything. So she was like, come on, we got to go get dressed because who was meeting them? I think Maurice and Kimmi was meeting them at the house, and then they were going to take this limo to pick up Kimmi and Martell so that they can take them out to this anniversary dinner. And so he was like, well, how much time do we have? And so she said, oh, about 30 minutes. And then he was like, well, I only need 2, so go put that lingerie on. And I'm like, oh my Lord, please, we don't want to see that. So over at the Holt's house, they are trying to figure out what Tisha and Marcel are up to. And so the conversation quickly turns to Melody questioning Martell about why he was at the gym longer than usual the night before. And so he's like, it takes 45 minutes to get to the gym. I do 3 reps. Each rep is 45 minutes. I'm like, okay, we're not going to keep doing this. Like, for the next 5 weeks, I do not want to be watching the two of them going at it. And so, she brings up the infidelity. They get to arguing. And then they eventually get dressed. And they were ready when the others came and picked them up. But it's just too much. So the couples arrive at this restaurant called 360 Rooftop. And so Tisha is so excited and proud of herself for planning this surprise evening. And so in the car on the way there, when she asks if the others had ever been there before, Melanie says no. But then in the confessional says that her and Martell had gone there like a year earlier. But she didn't want to hurt Tisha's feelings because she was so excited and proud of herself for putting this, whatever this outing was, on for them. So the editing in the show is so shady because when they got to the house to pick up Melody and Martell, Melody is getting into the limo. And so as she's going, because it was like a SUV limo, and so it was a bar on this side, and then it was like the seats went around the back, the other side of the vehicle. And so like they were all sitting on this long curved seat. So when Melody gets in, Maurice like has his arms open like to give her a hug, and she's sitting down. And the camera kind of like lingered there to show us that Melody refused to hug Maurice and kind of like just went and sat down and acted like he didn't have his arms open to hug her. So don't know what that's about. And so during dinner, Tisha spoils the mood. Everybody's having a good time. And then the conversation goes to her not wanting to be a stay-at-home mom. And so then she brings up the infidelity and, just like revealing things that her and Marsau talked about in their relationship, when they were planning to get married. And so Marsau was like, but we agreed that would stay at home with the kids. And she was like, no, we didn't agree. I never wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. And then everybody was like, oh, Lord. Then she turns around and says that she feels like she's a single mom. And then everybody looking at her like Kimmi was a single mom or is a single mom. Like she raised her son by herself for 18, 19 years. Like how dare you compare yourself? So Kimmi was like giving her the side eye, but she didn't ever really comment on it. So then, she just spilling all her emotions out. And so then Marsau reached across the table and was like, let me hold your hand. Let me hold your hand. And she was like, why do you want to hold my hand? He says, because when I say this, I want you to understand, we're on the same team and that we are in agreement. And so she would never take his hand. And then, of course, Martell is sitting there like, who wants to be at their 10th anniversary dinner talking about infidelity? Like, why would she even bring that up? So she just totally killed the mood. So then in the final scene of the show, the producers asked where Martell and Melody see each other in 10 years. And so he talks about, he wants to have kids and his own development company and, I guess a happy life with Melody. And then Melody, she hesitates, for dramatic effects. And then he asks her like, well, do you see me in your future? Like, what are you trying to say? And then finally she says that, hopefully we can get back on track and, we'll still be together. So, child, what do y'all think? Who's going to end up getting divorced on this show? Marsau and Tisha or Melody and Martell? Leave your comments below and let me know what you think. Rate the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the video because it doesn't cost you to do any of those things. And until the next time, I shall talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.